Hi guys, welcome back to BCA Expert channel. Today I will discuss about the pointers, escape sequence, functions and last one is data structure. We come to the first one, pointers. The pointer in C language is a variable which stores the address of the another variable is known as the pointer. This variable can be type of the int, character, array, function or any other type of the pointer. The size of the pointer depends on the architecture. The pointer in C language can be declared using the hashtag symbol. So to understand the pointers in much better way, let me give a small example. Let us assume that you have declared a variable by name n, which is of the integer data type, and you have stored some value that is equals to the 10. Now what happened here is n is pointing to the value which is 10 and it is stored in the value in particular memory location. So n must have a memory location address. Similarly, as you have your house address, in the same way every variable in C language also an address. So for example, n might be having same address like 1011. So if you want to access and directly, then you have to access its address. So for that you have to declare a pointer which can access n directly through its address. To declare a pointer variable, you have to use an abstract which is defines that the variable which you have to declare in a pointer variable. So here I have declared a pointer variable p with hashtag symbol. That's mean it has a stored p is equals to address of n. So pointer variable p stores the address of the n which is directly access the value present in n. Before we execute the program, let us understand the advantages of the pointer. We can return the multiple values of the functions using the pointers. Followed by that, it makes you to build access any memory location in the computer's memory. We can dynamically allocate the memory using the malloc, kelloc functions. Using the pointer variable, pointer in C language are widely used in array, functions and structures. It reduces the code and improves the performance. Now let us try to execute the simple program to understand the pointers in much better way. So this particular example is based on the pointers. As you can see, I have declared an integer type of the array with the name first array and the first array size is 10. So inside the array, I have stored 10 different values starting from 1 to 10. And after that, I have initialized the pointer variable. So the pointer variable is pointing to the memory address of the first array. So what I am trying to do here is to print the address of each and every element present in the first array. Right? Let us try to execute this program and see what are the address of all the elements present in first array. As you can see, the code has been successfully compiled and the address of all the values present in the first array are being displayed here. For example, the address of the value 1 is 0x7FFF056EA for 60. So this is a hexadecimal value. Once after you convert it to the decimal value, then you can have a particular address where the particular value 1 is being stored. Similarly, all the other values have also got a different address through which they can be assumed. Now let us move on to the next topic, which is escape sequence. Escape sequence can be defined as the combination of backward slash and a letter or a digit. These sequences are non-privatable and I use communicate with these many devices or printer by sending the non-graphical control statements to specify the actions like a new line or a tab space. Let us understand this in much better way. Escape sequence. Escape sequence is none other than the combination of the \/ and a letter or a digit. So we have two particular number of escape sequence in C programming which have different meanings. So basically in a program we use new line and tab space to provide a new line from the code or to provide the tab space between the output and output. If you are printing any array, so we shall understand what are the meaning of each and every escape sequence. which is provided with the C programming language. As you can see, these are the few examples of escape sequence designed in C programming language. The first one is alarm, which is provided by backslash A, and the second one is backspace, and the third one is from feet, and fourth one is this backslash N, which means a new line, and other that we have had is return and followed by that, which is the common one we usually use it while printing matrices. So that is the tab space, and finally we have a vertical tab. Followed by this, we have a few more escape sequences, which are double backslash and backslash point, backslash and backslash point, backslash question mark and backslash triple N, which it is an octal number. And followed by that, we also have a backslash XH, which addresses it is the hexadecimal number. And the last one is null character, which we use in strings, right? So the next topic for our discussion will be functions. The most important topic in C programming is functions. So what is the function? Function can be defined as subdivide program of the main program and enclosed within the flower bracket. Means function can be called by the main program to implement its functionality. These producers provide the code, reusability and modularity. Few examples for functions are library functions and user-defined functions. Actually, these are the only two types of the functions which are available with C programming. Now let us understand the function in much better way. For example, you have the program which has to add two numbers for multiple times in your program. For example, consider you had to design the program to add a numbers, and inside your program you had to add numbers for 10 times. So to design this program, we had to create an addition operation for 10 times for the first set of the two numbers, for the second set of the two numbers, and third set of the two numbers, similarly from the 10th set of the two numbers. So here you are assigning the addition function for 10 different times. So this increasing the code length and also increase the completion of the time. So the completion time doesn't matter for these simple operations, but if you are designing a bigger software, then this completion time will matter a lot, and the code length also matters a lot. Inside you can just write the functions where you can define the addition operation, and you can just pass the value 10 times less functions and the operation will be executed. So this reduces the code length drastically, and also the completion time will be reduced drastically, and the code performance will be improved and exponentially. So with this, let us try to understand the advantages of the functions in C programming. Advantages of the functions are writing the same code repeatedly. In the program will be avoid, which is the example we discussed about, and after that functions can be called as the number of times in program. According to the previous example, we had to call them 10 times. We can also call the multiple times, more than 10 times also. And after that, tracking is a program easily when it is divided into the multiple functions. For example, if you divided your main program in multiple functions, then tracking it would be easy. For example, if you have to design a program for boredom as the function, then if you find the problem is multiplication operation, that you can directly enter into the multiplication function and check where the error is. But if you did not follow the functions type of the programming, then it might be a difficult task for you to find where the error is. And coming into the last advantage, reusability is the main achievement of the C functions. With this, let us come into the rules for using the functions. The rules to be followed to use the functions in C programming are as follows. Firstly, function declaration. A function is required to declare as a global and name of the function, parameters of the function, and return type of the function are required to be clearly specified. This says that the function should be globally declared. This means before you start your main program, you need to declare what are the functions you are going to use in your program. Followed by that, you have a parameters and name of the functions are the return type, which means whatever the name is specified to the function should be clearly specified and it should be readable, and also it must include the parameters value which we will be passing into the functions, right? And the return type, which means if you are getting some value, for example, as we discussed before if you are performing an addition operation, then it is sure that you will be getting a result out of it. So whatever the result or whatever the return type you are getting should be specified. Followed by that, you have the next rule which says the function call. Well, calling the functions from anywhere in the program, care should be taken that the data type in the argument list and the number of the elements in the argument are searching for the example you have defined as the addition operation. So from basic addition operation, you might having two operates. So in the main function, if you are calling the addition operation, then it must be have taken care that before calling the function, the operands is the main program are also equals to 2. It is not possible to have 3 variables in calling functions, and 2 variables is called the functions. This is one error. So that case should be taken. Followed by that, the next rule is function definition. After the function is declared, it is important that is the function include the parameters, declare the code segment, and return type of the value. Just declaring the functions means globally doesn't mean that the function should work to make your function work. You must also define it, which includes the parameters which are going to use in it, and the code segment on the operations that you want to perform should be included, and also the return type of the value. Followed by that, we shall understand how to use the functions. There are 4 different aspects for using the functions in C programming. The first is the function without argument and without return the value. In this case, you don't pass any arguments to the called functions. And similarly, from the call the functions end, you want to pass any values to the calling functions. In the second aspect, function without argument and with return value. In this particular type, the calling is the function will not provide any arguments, the called functions, but called functions will return a value to the calling functions. The third type of the aspect is the function with argument and without return value. In this case, the calling function will provide some arguments to the called functions, but the called function will not return any value to the calling function. The last aspect is function with argument with return value. In this particular case, the calling is the function will provide some arguments to the called function, as well as the called function after executing the operations will provide the result to the calling functions. Now, let us try to execute some examples to understand this in much better way. Function can be called in 2 ways, either by reference or either by the value. Let us execute 2 types to understand this in much better way. First, let us execute call by the value. This particular example is based on call by the value. So here what you are basically doing is you are actually calling the functions by passing the value, right? So let us try to execute this program and see how does it work. As you can see, the program is being executed successfully and that the output has been displayed here. So the value of x before calling the function is 100, and once after the function is being called through the value, some operations have been taken place in the function and the result is being given by the called function to the calling the function, and the value num is being changed from 100 to 200, and finally the value of x is 100. After the function is being called, now let us try to execute the program based on call by the reference. As you can see, this particular example is based on call by the reference, right? Where the function will be called according to the address of the variables used in the program. As you can see, the output have been successfully generated and that the values has been changed here. Since the address of the value have been escaped, so if you access the value of a variable through its address, then the value will be changed and this kind of the operations is fully risky. So if you are fresher, then don't perform use value and access them through the address. With this, let us move on to our next topic, which is based on the data structure. Data structure can be defined as the collection of the data values, the relationship among them and the functions that can be applied on the data. They can be classified as follows: primitive data structure of the built-in data structure. And second type is abstract data structure of user-defined data structure. Let us understand the data structure in much better way. And what are the types of the data structures present in C programming language and how will support it? Let us see them. They can be classified also based on the characteristics. Before this may classify them according to the nature, but here we can characterize them according to the characteristics. Firstly, the linear ones, and followed by that we have the non-linear data structure. The next one is homogeneous, followed by that we have non-homogeneous and static, and finally the dynamic data structure. It is understand each one of them in much better way and understood what exactly they are. Firstly, let us deal with the linear data structure. A linear data structure stores its the elements in arrange the linear sequence. Means, for example, a linear data structure is the array. Array is example of the linear data structure. Next one is non-linear data structure. Non-linear data structure store the elements in a non-linear fashion. For example, tree and graphs. Followed by that, we have the homogeneous data structure. Homogeneous data structure stores the elements that are made of the same data type. For example, array. The next one is non-homogeneous data structure. Now, I am homogeneous data structure toward the element that are the different data types. For example, structures. Followed by that, we have the static data structure. A static data structures are those structures whose size and the allocated memory is fixed and cannot be changed during the runtime. For example, arrays. Followed by that, we have the dynamic data structure. Dynamic data structure, and the only difference between the static data structure and dynamic data structures is that we can change the memory size of the data structure in runtime. So the most famous example for dynamic data structure is linked list. Now let us understand each one of these data structures in more detail and better way. As you can see, the data structures according to the first descriptions and divided into the primitive data structures and abstract data structures. The primitive data structures are the character, float, integer, pointer, and abstract data structures or the user-defined data structures are arrays, list, files, and inside the list you can find the non-linear list and linear list. If it is non-linear list, you can include the stack and queues, and if it is linear list, then you can include the trees and graphs. Now let us understood each one of them in much better way.